Lions fans, brace yourselves because the rumors are heating up. Myles Garrett's name has entered the conversation, getting plenty of people excited. But is this really the right move for Detroit? Meanwhile, a former Aaron Glenn player might be on his way to help fix one of the defense's biggest weaknesses. The decisions the Lions make this offseason could shape the future of the team, and there are some big names on the table. So, go ahead and hit that like button. You won't want to miss a single detail. The Detroit Lions have been widely speculated as a team looking to make a splash on defense this offseason, particularly by adding an elite pass rusher. The news of Myles Garrett's trade request has fueled dreams of a blockbuster move, but the reality is that the Lions have other defensive needs to address, one of the biggest being the cornerback position. Last year, Detroit invested heavily in the secondary, but still hasn't found the ideal solution. And interestingly, one of the most viable options might just be a player from former defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn's team, as he now leads the New York Jets. According to Nick Brinkerhoff of USA Today, there's a strong chance the Lions will sign DJ Reed, a cornerback who has excelled in New York over the past few seasons. In the same article, Brinkerhoff also projected that the Jets could sign Carlton Davis, who currently plays for the Lions, potentially opening up a spot in Detroit's roster. If this indirect swap happens, Reed comes in with solid credentials. Last season, opposing quarterbacks completed only 57.1% of their passes against him, allowing just 6.4 yards per attempt, according to Pro Football Reference. For comparison, the Lions struggled in that area in 2024, allowing 7.2 yards per attempt, the 11th worst mark in the NFL. Detroit needs a reliable veteran to take over the CB1 role and bring stability to the secondary, especially if young players like Terrion Arnold and Ennis Rakestraw Jr. are developed as CB2 options. Reed fits that role perfectly and could be the missing piece the Lions need to finally solidify their pass defense. So, could this secondary upgrade finally give the Lions the defensive stability they've been lacking? Drop your thoughts in the comments. But if the priority is strengthening the pass rush, there are plenty of intriguing options beyond Myles Garrett. Everyone in Detroit is keeping an eye on Myles Garrett following the Browns' star pass rusher's trade request. And it makes sense. The Lions desperately need another dominant force alongside Aiden Hutchinson in the backfield. But let's be realistic. The chances of Cleveland letting go of Garrett without demanding a massive haul of draft picks are slim. So, what other trade options are available? Here are 5 names that could make sense for the Lions. First up, Bradley Chubb, Miami Dolphins. He had a monster 2023 season, racking up 11 sacks and forcing 6 fumbles before suffering a serious knee injury. He missed all of 2024, but his contract situation and Miami's need to clear cap space might make him available. If healthy, Chubb could be a valuable addition without breaking the bank. Another interesting name is Jadeveon Clowney, Carolina Panthers. Sure, he never lived up to the hype of being the first overall pick in 2014, but he's still a solid run defender who can contribute as a pass rusher. Carolina wouldn't be too attached to him, and for a late-round draft pick, the Lions could add an experienced veteran to their rotation. Cameron Jordan, New Orleans Saints, is another veteran who might be available. At 35 years old, he's no longer the nightmare for QBs he once was, but his leadership and locker room presence are undeniable. The issue? He seems committed to staying in New Orleans, so Detroit would have to convince him that a move makes sense. Now, if the Lions want to make a bolder move, Max Crosby, Las Vegas Raiders, could be an option. He has previously expressed admiration for the Lions, and with Las Vegas in full rebuild mode, a trade isn't out of the question. But, just like with Garrett, the cost would be steep, and the Raiders would need to be willing to part with their best defender. Finally, the most realistic and possibly best option, Trey Hendrickson, Cincinnati Bengals. He led the NFL with 17.5 sacks in 2024 and is clearly frustrated with his contract situation. Cincinnati doesn't seem eager to pay him what he's worth, so the Lions could step in and solve 2 problems at once, bringing in an elite pass rusher and avoiding a potential future contract dispute with Hutchinson. Bottom line, if Garrett is just a distant dream, there are still plenty of viable options on the market. The question is Brad Holmes ready to pull the trigger and give this defense the missing piece it needs? Detroit can't afford to waste time. If they want to compete for a Super Bowl, reinforcing the defense is the top priority. Whether it's a proven CB or a dominant pass rusher, the front office needs to act. But who do you think would be the best fit for the Lions? Drop your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the latest updates on Detroit's off-season moves.